some of your background and why More Public International Radio as a medium to get your message out?
You know, for one thing, More Public Radio is homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect the people behind More Public Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not, you know, good to go to maybe a prime time, you know, station to want to represent yourself. You know, sometimes you have to go to the underground, you know, the underground stations. And More Public Radio is a station that is worth being loyal to. And they are loyal people. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Woods is a blessing to people around the corner to across the world. And it's a wonderful jazz station. And it's bringing information and education worldwide to everyone. And I must say, I have a lot of respect for More Public Radio.
I wanted to talk to you a little about the format, about what you like about it. And also I want you to give me a little bit of historical background. You know, I didn't know you were a dancer in Soul Train, and you had a battle with weight loss that was really kind of astounding. And I think those are the two areas that we can jump off into in terms about, again, information, education.
Well, first and foremost, yes, I was a dancer of Soul Train. The 80s.
So tell us a little about Soul Train. Some people may not know what Soul Train was, who they were, and what they do. And
wow. So first of all, rest in peace, Don Cornelius. Soul Train is a black network. He's an icon to all the underground dancers who want to be seen without having to go to maybe like a audition, or you know, you just hey.
So, but these were the originators. We had American Bass Stand on one station.
Yeah, Dick Clark.
And then we had Soul Train on another. And Soul Train was kind of like word of mouth in our community. You know, you hooked up on Saturday to see it, and it was always a slice of black life, as I like to talk about it. So you were a part of that slice of black life. How did it feel? How did you know? What were some of the things that you remember about it that were exciting for you?
You know, wow, everything was wonderful. The main thing, I can be myself. You know, I was the first one prime time to wear the mohawk, the exotic cuts. And when I sing Patti LaBelle, I said, oh yeah, that's me. And I have to come up with my, a matter of fact, the Berkeley Community Media is located here at Berkeley High, where I started off at. Rest in peace, Natty Prep. And matter of fact, they contact Natty Prep. And say, yeah, you know, this is the location of Soul Train. So my mom, matter of fact, already lived in Los Angeles. And matter of fact, wow, she danced on there for years. But, you know, I want to get there myself. You know, I want to get there myself. And, you know, because she know people, you know, but I want to get there myself.
So you go to Soul Train, you're really successful, you meet all these great people, and then it stops and then you have a problem with weight. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had a big problem with weight. After Soul Train, basically, I went through a depression. And I was in a long-term relationship. You know, I was in a relationship that, wow.
Was it healthy for you?
You know, I have a wonderful son. His name is Marquise Collins, and yes, it was healthy. You know, it's all about being equally yoked and being in communication. And, you know, I had a big mouth. You know, so I had to learn how to accept, you know, and be accountable. And I was a little bit slow doing that. And I went into a depression, you know, and also I had so much weight on me where I started thinking about the past. You know, I was a victim of corporal punishment. I used to get whooped with a wooden paddle across my back because I wrote with my left hand. You know, well, actually, it was supposed to go across my buttocks, but I was so short, it went across my back. And yeah, and I used to get whooped just because I wrote with my left hand.
You're involved in some things in regards to corporal punishment in the schools, and we have a young lady going to have to bring on, but tell us a little bit about your involvement with it and why you think it's an important thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. There's 19 states that still whooping kids with wooden paddles. The 19 states is pinpointed on our website, thehittingstopshere.com. And Paula Flo is the founder of this. And I met Paula Flo on my radio show, and she heard about me and my weight loss, and she heard about what I went through. And she said, Yolanda, oh my goodness, you need to come to the Capitol and speak, and you need to be part of this with me. So ever since then, I've been second in command on this movement, and we went to Washington, D.C., and my goodness, we spoke, and they said we did everything we needed to do to get this bill, H.R. 3027 bill, passed. All we needed to do was go to Minnesota to John Klein. John Klein is the gentleman who's over, my goodness, you might as well say Homeland Security, all the security, and education. And he won't pass this bill. He won't even acknowledge it. Matter of fact, he's keeping it hidden, and that's a big no-no. So they told us we have to go to his district, which is 2nd District of Minnesota, Burnsville, and let his people know about who they voted in. So what we did, Paula Flo and myself, we went to Minnesota, Burnsville, 2nd District, and we went to John Klein's office. Yes, and we also spoke at the State Fair and also Mall of America. And we have so many people there. It was like, what? Not our John Klein. Yes, your John Klein. John Klein, please sign our bill or resign. We have to end the 19 states that's still whooping kids with this wooden paddle. You can't do that over here. You'll go to jail for that. And these kids don't deserve it. They have autism. They can write with their left hand like myself. And I went so far where I wanted to cut off my left hand because I got sick and tired of getting whooped 3 times a day at Kenilworth Elementary School, hallelujah. And it was not a good thing. And the principal used to take my hair and wrap it around his hand, and and he used to, my hair was in the way from the wooden paddle. And so he used to wrap his hand around my hair and whoop me with the wooden paddle and said, don't you ever come in here and write with your left hand again. It was like, well, what I'm supposed to do?
So it sounds like, this gets to be more about discussions that we've always noted around trauma. And how we have been subjected to numbers of trauma. That's why we're glad that you're on More Public Radio International. A little bit about the morning show, the format. You've had us on. You had me on in a segment. You had you let Barbara Howard has a segment, and you have a lot of people that have segments in your show that you've allowed to open up the platform. Sometimes people make these platforms closed, and you've tried to open up. What's your philosophy around that, and why?
My job, and I always said this, if I can be blessed to be able to help my people any way possible, like I was helped, like I was saved, like from this corporal punishment, I was saved from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My grandmother saved me. Diane Canellas blessed me to be able to dance. Mr. and Mrs. Prentice Woods, hallelujah to them. They blessed me to be able to know how to work the radio station, coordinate and format. And, I always said I want to help someone. I want to be able to help somebody who's trying to crawl, because if you already there, I don't need to help you, so I want to bring them to the front line, so that's my job and that's my mission. Like my weight loss, I lost 350 pounds from 500. And my job, I want to help somebody be able to lose weight, how they can lift the skin and how they can,
take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So was it hard to do that? Did you find it, and what were some of the methods that helped you do it, if you can talk about them? And what would you say to someone that is wrestling with not just a weight problem, but the general issues that weigh us down, and how you can find the ability to move forward and transform?
One thing I had to be accountable for is for my own consumption. And I had to realize you eat things that make you fly, not die. And I was grateful for the taste and not for the quantity. Okay? Instead of eating a whole plate of pasta, I eat a couple of spoons of pasta and then go back the next hour and eat another couple of spoons full, you know. But, you know,
And that's evidence they're finding that small, multiple meals throughout the day. If you're going to enjoy something, enjoy that particular thing, but don't make it a, you know, so where you live.
Right.
So these are pretty great not only weight loss techniques, but behavioral techniques.
Right,
because
exactly.
it gets into the behavior. Tell us a little bit about how you had to change behaviors. I mean, portion control sounds like one of them. What were
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't a
really?
I'm gonna be honest. I was
Okay.
a doger.
Okay.
I had to be accountable for my own consumption and don't try to hide it. Don't try to hide it. I had to, you know, when I look at that big old plate, because I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, you know, so I have to, instead of eating that whole plate of jambalaya while everybody else enjoying eating all the big bowl of jambalaya, I said, nah, just go on and get you a cupful and be grateful for the taste. Have every item they have and just be grateful for the taste.
You know, I may have talked about it, but the progression, you said depression. And this didn't happen over 2 or 3 weeks. We're talking about maybe sometime years we're talking about in terms of this, to the original picture of you being the 300 plus.
Well, I was, 20,
You can't
28
see on
years.
it's just so little small, but it's kind of like, that's her right there, you know? That is her right there. And it's kind of amazing that now we're sitting here talking to her post weight loss. Again, you know, it's not what you think you can't do, it's what you don't think you can do. And she thought she could do it.
I had to walk in faith and not by sight.
Okay.
I had to walk in faith and not by sight because a lot of people told me, a lot of people say, oh, you'll never be, you know, like in your Soul Train days. You'll never be like you was at when you was in Berkeley High. But that inner spirit say, don't listen. Don't listen to them.
Why is it that people you would think that are close and supportive of you would do things to kind of traumatize you? You know, don't you think you should have been getting that support, saying you can do this, you can get this done, this is something that's doable? I guess maybe because those folks weren't used to doing those kinds of things or making that transition from one direction to another. I know for me, and the use of alcohol, definitely a transition from not using alcohol from using alcohol to not using alcohol, because it takes time. It's all these behaviors that we have locked up in us that we've gotten support from. Food was comforting for you.
Right.
Alcohol was comforting for me. You know, and you have to learn how to not use that as an
escape.
There you go.
And an
Perfect.
excuse.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
You just said something that I always wish for. And you know what that was?
No.
Support. I always want to feel safe, that it was okay. But instead, I was so used to getting negative attention, or, you know, people being around me for some type of other attention reasons. It was hard to believe, you know, I didn't have the support.
When does your show play? Times, again, it's International Moral Public Radio. You can get the internet. You go on the internet,
Absolutely.
check it out, and it plays in real time.
Absolutely.
And so, what times are you coming on now?
Hey, this is Yolanda Littles from More Public Radio, international.org. You can tune into my magazine show every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. And also, I have a late night show, Late Night with Yolanda Littles and David Washington. I am your nightcap. More Public Radio, international.org, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. every Sunday. And also, I have a morning show coming to you, so check your listing.
So we want folks to tune in, listen, give us some feedback. You know, we want the station to blow up. We also, there are other venues there we want to support. Barbara Howard does a piece.
Sister B. Mello, Barbara Howard, indeed. And you can stay tuned for, matter of fact, every first Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon, we have Sister B. Mello, Barbara Howard, and of course, duh.
So the shows are running. We want everyone to kind of tune in.
Second Saturday. Matter of fact, I got little pieces for first and second. So second Saturday, of course, is the major show. Okay, but I have, you know, different pieces that we always put in. Stay tuned, stay tuned. Second
So
Saturday.
it's a broad, diverse programming. Program is 24 hours.
Yes, variety show.
And so we want folks to, at this point now, through the internet, right? Am I correct?
Right, through the internet. And our lineup is wonderful. Our weekend lineup is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so I think it's something worth viewing and listening to, and we want people to tune in. Saturday shows, the whole week is a strong program. I do a program with Sister B. Mello, the second Saturday of every month, from 6 to 7. And we want to again
Eyes of the Conscious Soul. And that's from 6 p.m. to 7.
And that show also has a number of components to it that play through the month. And you just got to tune in.
Yeah, it's hot. We imitated but never duplicated.
At this point in your life, what do you feel are some of the challenges to being a black woman in the know? Again, we always wonder, is fame fleeting? And how do you assure that you have the right people around you that are supportive, even sometimes they're not some things aren't happening the way they should be?
Well, I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
Okay? I walk by my spirit and not my flesh. So that's, like Oprah Winfrey and Wendy Williams and Tyra Banks, I'm rolled up in one. That's it in a nutshell. I walk by my spirit. My spirit going to tell me. It's going to let me know. So I knew, like for instance, you guys were supposed to be on my magazine show. I knew. So long as I keep Jehovah God first and stay on point with my studies and my spirit, keep me in order, the rest will fall in place. So I'm not going to, worry about what's going on in the world. I'm just going.
So besides the Bible, I know you read the Bible. What are you reading? What things would kind of define intellectual property for Yolanda Littles?
The main thing that I want to stay grounded on, like I said, is black. Of course, my Black history. I have to, of course, my ancestors. It's a shame I had to find out late who.
Who's the best? Who's the best?
Yeah, because I was too busy moving my hips and doing other things instead of focusing on my education. So that's my main thing. Education is the best medicine. And you talk it all. So long as I stay grounded and on point with this message, education is the best medicine. And that's why, matter of fact, let me give it to you like this. That's why I have different pages that's inspiration, education, and information on my magazine show. It's not just for my people, it's for me too. Because I can learn from it. I want, Lord knows, I want my people, including my surrounding circle, to have the best.
You have a co-host too?
Yeah, David Washington.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be here, but that's okay.
Time. We're going to give him a shout out and say,
we're going to
next time we want you to come on board.
Yeah, David Washington. He's my co-host, Late Night with Yolanda Littles and, of course, David Washington. And also he has Gospel and More, from 7 to 11.
So it's a real wide range. And again, we wanted to show the collaboration between Education is the Best Medicine, More Public Radio, and particularly the host and those folks that play the shows throughout. We want to make sure that we want to be a sounding board and a reflection of that, and we want everyone in the community to give a listen. Take some time, an hour a day. That's all we want, an hour a day.
Because it's different styles.
There's different styles, different issues, and you'll see some different discussions going on from a community-based radio format again, and that's what we're about here. If you could, what are some of the messages that you want to share? We talked about, violence prevention, knowing oneself, educating oneself, loving oneself. What are some of the other messages you think are so important, or how these messages reflect the person you are now?
Yeah, I want people to concentrate on being true to themselves. It's important to be true to yourself. And, just be accountable.
Like getting you here.
Yeah. Well, tell everybody one more time, George Pearson, okay? Well, I guess he told me. Education is the best medicine.
But you made it though, so see,
Woo!
everybody, many come, but few are chosen, and shoot them in.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yeah. But main thing, my brother, is being accountable for our actions. Just be accountable. And I'm learning to accept what it is, and learning how to come off the freeway exit. Sometimes the brain could be on the freeway, and I'm learning how to come off that freeway exit. That's
well, I knew there were some challenges to you coming on the program, and we have to address those challenges and not take them personal. And I knew that when the time was right that you would, because we think this is a message that's very important. And as you as one of the purveyors of that community message, and definitely a fixture on More Public Radio International.org, we thought it was important to see the face behind the voice and the voice behind the face.
Thank you.
We are kind of winding down, but I wanted to kind of give a discussion about you and your time. Soul Train was a really great time for you, but it sounds like a time where you may have been really lonely. Talk about the issue about having the spotlight on you at one point and really feeling alone at another point.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad you mentioned that. Mm-hmm. I used that as a scapegoat. It made me feel, whole. When I danced, that was releasing transgression. Mm-hmm. I was releasing transgression. Mm-hmm. And wow. I used to ride the pedicabs, the bicycles. I was known for riding the pedicabs around LA. I rode the Raiders when it was the LA Raiders. I was the only one allowed in the stadium. So I did a lot of physical stuff to keep me releasing a transgression, and that's what I did. When I danced, I released, that was my releasement, and I have to be honest, that was a thing for me. Mm-hmm. I wanted to hide behind my steps. Mm-hmm. And I let because everybody thought, she looked, I bet you got it going. You did. And absolutely I wasn't. I was so lonely. Mm-hmm. I was just so, sad. Mm-hmm. But I made myself happy through entertainment. Mm-hmm. So that's why I represent the arts, the School of Arts, all the teachers, have patience with, the special needs, the special kids. And, hey, just, it's all about love, brother. It's all about love.
As a, we've always tried to emphasize a culture and particularly women of color as being some of the movers and shakers, and we think that you fit that bill. As you, and also in terms of leadership, sometimes leadership is thrust upon you, and it seems like in your life these things have been thrust upon you, and instead of you shirking away from those things, you've kind of been drawn toward them, and now it appears excelling in them. What makes you tick? How does that tick like that?
Brother, wow. It's incredible to even know that I'm back. I'm back. Mm-hmm. And to the millions of people who are going to see this, they're going to know that. I am back. And never underestimate your spirit and what your spirit tells you. Just have a meeting of a mind with yourself. Get into a quiet zone. You never know what you're going to hear. Mm-hmm. And I received it because as a little girl, I used to sit by myself and I used to braid my Barbie doll's hair. Matter of fact, I'm a strand-by-strandologist. I make handmade wigs for cancer patients. I also braid. So the name of my nonprofit business that I am trying to build up is All Strands Are Accounted For, because God knows every strand's in our head. Mm-hmm. And it's my job to make sure they're happy from the scalp until God calls them home. Hmm.
Well,
that makes me happy. Okay. Getting out of myself.
All right.
That makes me feel good, getting out of myself.
Again, we want to thank you for coming on. We want to thank the owners of More Public Radio for having you on. And again, we always, I laugh about how long it took to get you on the show, but that's usually the way it happens. Good things, we have to wait for good things. We've got about 2 minutes. I want you to give us the final word.
I just want to say thank you first and foremost, and for everybody around the corner to across the world. Walk in faith and not by sight. God bless you. I'm Yolanda Littles reporting.
Well, we want to thank the More Purple Radio staff. We want to thank Barbara Howard for coming on.
Yay, Mr. and Mrs. Jean Woods.
Jean
Woods, my godparents, by the way. And Sister B. Mello.
So we want to thank all the folks for coming on.
Yes.
We think that
Mark Jordan.
Yeah, Mark.
Thank you so much for the behind scene. Incredible doing his thing live.
Our executive producer, and we want to thank him again for his time and patience. You don't get this done.
Berkeley Community Media.
All that. So I want to, again, thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for bringing light to a very dark world. More Public Radio International is a station that we need to listen to, embrace, and hear. Although you're the host, it's a wide perspective and
one of the hosts.
One of the hosts. We have a wide panorama of perspective folks that do the program and add to its richness. You add to its richness. I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for bringing light to a very dark world.
Thank you.
If vision is the art of seeing things yet unseen, then truly you are a visionary. I want to thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thanks for coming on.
Hallelujah.
All right. So good stuff. So we're good stuff. Anyway.
In the world, y'all check it. From mama's broken hearted, I surely came. Sons that were slain for minimal gain. Youth that can't read, speech that can't talk. Passion to move, a love that won't walk. I speak to you, my heart and my soul. My family and folks, what I surely owe. My 100 double O nigga, ride a flow.